Good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream. I'm going to do the May 18th Spiritual Principle a Day in a meditation. Hope you're doing well out there. The title of the meditation is Connecting to Our Conscience. We learn to listen to our conscience, that still small voice within that tells us if we're heading in the right direction. That comes from the Living Clean book, chapter 3. Spirituality is practical. Some of us might argue that the solutions to our problems, the answers to our moment to moment decisions, and our big life choices have always been within our reach. We just haven't been listening to our conscience. We've been unable to hear it because of the competing, confusing cacophony of noise in our heads, a squeaky hamster wheel of thoughts that we can't get off of. Others of us feel as if we never had a conscience and that it's something we develop only once we become abstinent and start to work a program. We come to the opinion that our disease speaks to us in our own voice, no less, and is the sole influence of our bad decision making. Conversely, our conscience, as an expression of our higher power, is the source of positive influence. Whatever our opinions are about the origin story of our conscience, we can probably all agree that we can do a lot to cultivate our sensitivity to the voice of our higher self. We get clean and become humble enough to ask for help. We listen to each other's experience of recovery. The work we do on ourselves through the steps and for others through service awakens us enough to experience our conscience. Many of us would say our conscience has become clearer, more distinct, and more dependable as we grow in recovery. It becomes easier to access because we're able to turn down the static brought on by its evil twin, our disease. We learn to quiet our minds, and through prayer and meditation, we gain a lot of practice in not just being able to hear it, but in listening to what it has to say. My conscience is my inner guide, wrote a member. It's a driving force that gives me what I need to make an honest decision. I still can't control outcomes just because I'm choosing wisely, but I come to my decisions with integrity. I will practice staying conscious of my conscience. It's there for me when I listen, helping me to stay connected to living this new way of life. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the we version of Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference just for today, please, and thank you. Connecting to our conscience. In other words, becoming conscious of our conscience, right? Becoming aware that we have one. And not only that we have one, but that we can cultivate it, we can teach it by guiding it with spiritual principles, by telling myself, no, you're not going to do that. You're going to do this. And the reason why you're going to do this is because this is based out of goodwill, not ill will. I get to train my conscience, but it's only because I'm making a decision to be aware of it. I'm one of the people that think that it's always been there. I think that it became dormant. Its volume became less the more that I got high. But being clean today, I'm in a perfect position to train it, to do and to be what I need for it to be. An internal guide that guides me towards goodwill, that guides me towards God's will, and that guides me towards peace and harmony with humanity. That's what I need for it to be. I want to make honest decisions that aren't only productive for myself, but also for others, right? I get to the point in recovery where my decisions today, I understand that they're not just about me. There's a larger picture, and it's connected to all of the other people that are connected to me. And I want the best, not only for myself, but for others. And so I learned how to cultivate my conscience and pay attention to when I'm noticing character defects trying to flare back up. And I get to turn the notch down on those through prayer and meditation, and turn up the notch on the positive spiritual part of who I am. Because I believe I have both potentials, right, to be negative or be positive at any given point in time. Have you ever been in a public place and just listened to people talk? Like, you don't need to know them, just listening. The majority of people that you encounter, that I encounter, have that dual personality. They have the good side and they have the bad side, right? They have the negative side and the positive side. But for some reason, when people are just conversating, being themselves, not really worried about who's listening or not, generally speaking, they lean into gossip and negativity. I use those opportunities to do some self-reflection. If someone was to stand in my presence, unbeknownst to me, and overhear me having a conversation, what would it be like? And that answer causes me to start changing what my conversation is like. I become more conscious of my conscience and what it is feeding me and what it is telling me. And I take authority over it, right? I control what comes into me, right? And what doesn't. And by doing that, I also am able to be in charge of what I put out. All it takes is being conscious of your conscience and being willing to train it towards goodwill instead of ill will. And sometimes what that means is resurrendering to the God of my understanding. This character defect, this shortcoming is right there, and I do not want to participate in its demands today. I want to be completely free. I want you to be free too. I want you to start practicing staying conscious of your conscience and realize that it's there for you to help you, but you have to go beyond just acknowledging that it's there. You need to listen to it and allow it to guide you. And the more you do it, the more second nature I believe it will become. My name is MightyStream. I've enjoyed talking to you today. I hope that you'll have a beautiful day on purpose.